This delicious garlic asparagus with steak and red wine reduction is the best recipe you'll try. We're going to start off with 2 USDA Choice New York strips. We're going to pat these down with a paper towel to get the outside nice and dry so the seasoning can stick. These are all the seasonings for the steak. You don't want the steaks to be too complicated in the seasoning wise because you want all that flavor to be in the meat and not the seasoning. We're going to start off with a little bit of seasoning salt, garlic powder, steak seasoning, and my homemade beef rub. We're going to pat down the seasoning so the seasoning stays on and doesn't fall off when you turn the steak over. We're going to cut up 1 whole onion. Dice up this box of whole mushrooms. So today we're going to be grilling our steaks. We're going to be laying them down at an angle so it has that nice checkered pattern. Before I turn the steaks, I like to make sure that the char marks are nice and good, and then I turn them around. I cook these on high heat for about 1 to 2 minutes on each angle and about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. We're going to dump our onions and mushrooms on the griddle now and make sure you get plenty of oil in there so they don't get dried out and burned. We're going to cook these for about 10 minutes until the onions become translucent like and the mushrooms are nice and soft. In a small skillet, add about 3 tablespoons of butter. For the red wine reduction, we're going to be using the Barefoot California Sweet Blend. Add about 3 cups of this to the butter. So the trick with measuring out the butter to wine, it's going to be 1 tablespoon of butter for every 1 cup of wine. We're going to turn this up to 1 above medium, which is 6. You're going to whisk this around on that heat for about 10 to 15 minutes until this reduces down to a thick sauce. To another small skillet, we're going to add around 4 tablespoons of butter with about a handful of asparagus. To the asparagus, we're adding about a tablespoon of pepper and seasoning salt. To the red wine reduction, we're going to add about a 1/4 tablespoon of pepper and seasoning salt as well. Once the wine becomes this consistency, you know you're good. At this point, once the sauce gets thicker, you want to whisk all the time so it doesn't burn. To a medium-sized skillet, we're going to add around 5 tablespoons of butter with some rosemary and garlic. You're going to add your steaks to the butter, rosemary, and garlic and baste it like this. What basting the steaks does is it adds that extra herby flavor of the rosemary and that bold flavor of garlic and adds a great taste to the steak. If y'all enjoyed this delicious and fancy recipe, hit me up in the comments and let me know how I could do this better.